Way to go, Riku!
Yeah?
I knew you were gonna pass with flying colors. This is just so awesome.
I believe in Soriku. I have somehow gained one last shred of hope. I hope Soriku is real. I've made a lot of videos about Kingdom Hearts, way more than I should have, and I was gonna stop. I thought it was all over, that after looking deeper, that it was all in my head, and we made it all up. Sora and Riku were just friends. Kairi was a poorly made love interest. Nomura made it up as he went along, that the series was basically over. But I couldn't have been more wrong. This may be the greatest story ever told, and I wouldn't have known any of this without the help of some very intellectual commenters. They have taught me more than I ever thought I would learn from these videos. For the last few months, I've been sitting down and replaying the entire series, and I can say now that I can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 4. There's a new theory I've become aware of. So I'm going to go through all these comments that changed my mind, and talk about what I've learned from this, and what I hope will happen in the future games. Angel Beats Loves 6 months ago. It broke my heart that Soriku didn't come true. But I don't want to give up on the ship. I believe there will be a chance for the two princes to be together. As said, the Kingdom Hearts saga will go on. So even if Sora shared the fruit with Kairi, Riku is the one who is sharing his destiny with him. Even if they are separated, the two will find a way to come together. And it's not just Soriku. There are other LGBT ships in Kingdom Hearts that fans want to be canon, so let's not lose hope someday that Nomura will see and open his heart to it as well. It's a beautiful comment, and it really fits what the video is about, because I sat and I made this video so quickly and it got so many views, and I just talked about how I felt. After playing Kingdom Hearts 3, I kind of stopped believing. And there's still that hope in both me and in Angel Beats here. Alright, my next video. Riku is gay. Or, as it's said on YouTube, because I'm not allowed to write Riku is gay. Is Riku straight? There was only one comment on this video, and this video didn't get as many views as the other one. Clearly it was the way I worded it, or maybe just because it starts the exact same way as the other video. But Francie and Drake, 1 month ago, helped me more than anybody else in this whole situation. Helped me really believe again. Said, I see you're asking for more evidence in the description. You really want them? Because from a few points in this and your other videos, you're actually missing some very big points in the big puzzle. And when I first saw that, I was like, what could I possibly be missing? So I wrote, any information proving me right or wrong would be greatly appreciated. Please send any evidence or relevant information to my contact email, aloneyofficial@gmail.com. Even though I made these videos months ago, I will eventually make another video on this topic. And then they said, sounds good, I hope to remember doing it later. And then they sent me an email. I read the email, it was great. I don't want to read it on here because, I don't want to give away other people's words. I'm just going to say what they said publicly and not what they said in an email. But they told me a lot of things, and I'm going to go through it. But yeah, when I made this Is Riku Straight video, it was me justifying that Riku is gay. Even if they don't want him to be. He could be read as gay. And that's all that really matters. 3 months ago, I made a video called So Riku 16 Years Later. When I made this video, I had pretty much lost all hope that the ship was real. And I wanted to prove to myself that it was real. So I went and I talked about as much as I could, mostly from memory, and I didn't do a lot of super deep research. And I actually learned a lot from making this video. So a couple of different people answered. Francie and Drake yet again said, just a heads up, since another commenter mentioned this, and you weren't sure, but interviews multiple times from the main devs actually said the opposite. The main core of the series are Riku and Sora and how they grow up, among other things. So in the video, I said that Nomura wanted it to be about Kairi, and I don't remember where I saw that. I must have heard it somewhere. I could have sworn I heard him say it in an interview or something, but I couldn't find it. Mary McRae just said this, and it's why I'm recording this video now, because I needed to know. Nomura actually very rarely speaks about Kairi in interviews. The few times he has, it's never been to confirm something between her and Sora. It's always re-emphasizing Kairi's fear of change. that continues throughout the series until Melody of Memory, and the feelings of growing apart from childhood friends. In Kingdom Hearts 3, the Disney world served to teach Sora 2 very important lessons: the power of true love's sacrifice, Olympus, Tangled and Frozen, and accepting the pain of separation, Monsters, Inc., Big Hero 6, Winnie the Pooh. The first lesson culminated in Riku's sacrifice, an event that is canonically the reason Sora was able to break in time in order to save everyone. This fact was obscured by the English localization team. The second lesson is that the Paopu scene was intended to represent, it was not Kairi and Sora establishing a romantic relationship, but rather attempting to strengthen the bond between them that had weakened over the course of the series, so that even when they were apart, they weren't alone. This is paralleled through the Winnie the Pooh storyline. And it was further affirmed in the last scene, when Sora fades away. Sora knew he was fading, that he and Kairi would be separated, and he had to accept that. You know who aren't separated anymore? Sora and Riku. Riku is the one in Quanadrim to save Sora, not Kairi. Kairi has her own path to follow now, and at the moment, it's not the one Sora is on. Contrary to popular belief, Nomura is not just making up as he goes along, he's just following a different literary template than most adventurous stories we are used to. The journey of Sora and Riku have been on has been very deliberate, and I think you'd be surprised to find that Nomura has more intentions for them in the future of the series. I know that growing up as a queer person in this day and age makes us cynical and very wary of hope for change, but I really truly believe at this point that Sora and Riku are the intended endgame. This comment, plus the emails I got months prior, completely changed how I feel about this. Francie and Drake, when they sent me an email, they talked all about that and this continuous theory that Kingdom Hearts is written in a different writing style. And that writing style is the heroine's journey, which I have learned about because of these videos, which makes me so happy because I love writing and I'm obsessed with the hero's journey. And I had no clue that the heroine's journey existed. And I'm so happy that somebody told me about it. So not only did Francie and Drake tell me months ago when they emailed me, but Mary McRae told me the same thing in her comment, which means that this is a common thing people believe. So if you don't know what the hero's journey is 15 steps, give or take. If you ask Dan Harmon, it's more like 8. But it's a bunch of steps. It's a blueprint that you can use, a tool for writing that allows you to put out the beats of a story and has been remixed and redone multiple times by different writers and creators. And George Lucas, famously, the guy who made Star Wars, loves the hero's journey and said that he used it to create the story for Star Wars. The hero's journey is established. It's a thing. But apparently, the heroine's journey is much different. Instead of a hero that fights a villain and it's all about external enemies and this internal conflict where they want something and then they lose everything and then they learn what they really need, instead of all of that, the heroine's journey is about someone in a society that doesn't like the way they are, someone feminine, who rejects their femininity and embraces their masculinity in order to get what they want. And then as they get what they want, they realize that that's not what they really needed. And they go into this dark dreamscape world, this internal world, where they learn and they embrace both their femininity and their masculinity in order to become a whole person. And a lot of people, I've proven here, believe that Kingdom Hearts is written in that style. And if that it is written in that style, it means that it's not over at all. These people have blown my mind. I believed that Kingdom Hearts 3 was the finale. It was the big climactic ending of a big hero's journey. And at the end of the hero's journey, the hero defeats the villain after they learn all their lessons, blah blah bloopity bloop. And it was a big end game, finale where all the characters kind of band together and they all get their finales and everybody gets their ending and it's all good. And then Sora disappears at the end. And they return home and they've changed from the journey and you get the whole hero's journey. And that's fine. Every Kingdom Hearts game actually goes through that. Every story goes through that. It's the hero's journey. That's the whole point. But some people, including myself now, believe that that was only a stepping stone and that Sora has now entered the internal world. So, according to a few select Kingdom Hearts fans, including myself. Kingdom Hearts 4, or the spin-off games in between, will be the second threshold. My point is that Kingdom Hearts isn't over yet, and I wholeheartedly believe, thanks to these commenters, that it's real. That Soriku could completely and utterly be real. On both the comment from Mary and the emails I got from Francie, there was a lot of talk about mistranslation. Now, Kingdom Hearts is a Japanese game, and it gets translated into English when it gets finally done. So they make the game in Japan, they release it there, then they make the American version in English, then they make the final mix in Japan, which is Nomura putting all the ties together and sort of fixing story plot holes and reintroducing stuff he recently wrote into the older games. And then the final mix gets released in English, and then all of that has been redone for the collection that everybody's playing nowadays. So it's been translated like 4 times, and it's still wrong, apparently. Now, I don't know Japanese at all, so I found a couple of very long documents about the nuances in Japanese language in Kingdom Hearts. And they're interesting reads. Some of them are a little dense, but a lot of them talk about how things are misinterpreted and mistranslated in Kingdom Hearts. And you could get lost in the insane amounts of differences and how they relate to the shipping. I might go and play the entire game in Japanese one day with subtitles to try to understand. But mostly from what I can tell, it doesn't matter whether or not the mistranslation changes the shipping of the characters or if there's exact examples of how it's mistranslated. The point is that it has given me enough doubt to believe that everything we've been told in the text of the game has been gone through a filter. And it's gone through Disney. They are the biggest masters of taking gay characters and deleting them and no longer making them gay, or making them subtly gay, or making characters that aren't gay fake gay. And I have a whole video I've been writing about this, and it's fascinating how all these things go together. The point is that it has given me a seed of a doubt. It's given me enough to believe that this is true. So with the hero's journey almost perfectly lining up, at least at a surface level, the mistranslations that may or may not be enough to give you a little bit of hope. All of these things together may not be irrefutable evidence, and I still do not 100% believe that Sora and Riku are together. That Nomura wants them to be together. Like, he wrote it from the beginning. I'm still not 100% sold, but there's enough here to make a case that it is real. And I 100% now, it's possible. I no longer have lost hope. I believe in Soriku. And I hope with this video you believe now too. But we have been lied to, and the mistranslation has made so many things lost. Entire lines changed, and now maybe Nomura has been setting this shit up since day one. And maybe Disney is trying to silence this story. I mean, the gay blade existing was enough for me to be like, ooh, maybe there's hope. But the fact that this exists, now I don't think it's some small group of gay developers who have snuck things in. No, I think it's from the top. If this is true, Nomura totally wants this to be the story. All the evidence that we've been reading off of was forged, it was changed, it was tampered with. And now we can really go in depth and understand the truth of all this. I was really ready to give up, but I've proved at this point that you could read Riku as gay. And now with all these commenters showing me the truth, I completely believe. And I really hope that Disney doesn't make this not happen. I really hope that this is real. But every time they put this game through a filter for the language, we lose more of it. And there's a lot of shit we lose. We lose inflections. We lose cultural meanings. We lose entire conversations. So who knows how deep the rabbit hole goes? Lines have been debated and argued on in small forums all over the internet for years, and nobody knows because it's such a small group. And translations can be spotty because it's all hearsay, because you don't know if someone understands Japanese correctly. Japanese is incredibly complicated. It's a language that no one can truly understand, and it can be an untangleable mess trying to translate it or understand through translations. Clearly, they don't like it when guys are being friendly. So when they localize it, they change a lot, and they change the meaning of everything. We've been trying to solve this puzzle without the right pieces. And the biggest evidence I've seen of all of this, it's I talked about it in my Dream Drop Distance description thing. In Dream Drop Distance, how they explain the meaning of the song Sanctuary. And Nomura, supposedly, yet again, I don't know if he said this, apparently Sanctuary is about Riku and Sora. Even Mickey Mouse said that the song is about them in Dream Drop. And Sanctuary is a love song. So I don't know how you can lie your way out of that. I don't know how you can say that they're not together out of that. I don't know how you can straight your way out of that. But apparently in earlier versions of the game, the necklace that Sora wears, the kingdom necklace, the little crown, was given to him by Riku in the original designs of the game. And it was like his version of Oathkeeper. It was literally the Oblivion keychain was supposed to be the Sora necklace. But they changed it and they just put the Keyblade hidden somewhere. And by the way, that Keyblade, the Oblivion Keyblade, was called the Riku Keyblade. And then Oathkeeper was called the Kairi Keyblade. So I've discovered a lot about this. And not only has it been mistranslated and everything has changed and we know nothing, but we've just crossed into the secret world within. I might have drank some of the Kool-Aid, but if things that I learned in this video are correct, then when Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, Sora will fight his own identity. And hopefully, if there's no interference in Kingdom Hearts 5, we will get what we hope for. We will get confirmation. We will be validated that Riku and Sora are together. We will know the truth, that Soriku is real. When Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, I didn't believe in Soriku anymore. It broke my heart, and I was literally depressed for 3 days straight. I remember going to work and just feeling broken. And I was so excited for Kingdom Hearts 3 that I had it as my Steam profile for like years. The image for it, the promo photo. And then when it finally happened, I was happy to play it and I thought it was pretty good. It felt a little too easy. And then when Sora and Riku, the Gay Blade thing happened, I was so happy. And then the ending, when they just changed the dialogue to make it more like Kairi and him were together, I was so confused and so heartbroken and just saddened. And I didn't believe anymore. And I started questioning everything about Kingdom Hearts and I stopped playing it. And then when I started making YouTube videos, I thought, oh, maybe I should talk about Kingdom Hearts and like the plot and try to understand it more. And I made like 6 videos about the plot of Kingdom Hearts. And they're not even that good, and I've learned way more about Kingdom Hearts since then, and I might even private them, but I guess I'll keep them up just because of what they represent. But when I made Kingdom Hearts, like when I made the Soriku 10 years later video, I didn't think it was going to be big. I threw it together in an hour. And I did it because I felt really emotional and I was making all these like Kingdom Hearts, like I was trying to describe the plot of Kingdom Hearts in videos and try to make it easier to understand for people. And I was doing it badly. But at the end of it, I was so pissed off, and I knew the reason I was making all these videos was because of how I felt about Soriku. So I threw it together and I made this video, and it blew up more than any video I've ever made. Because it mattered, because I was passionate, because I cared. And this is my second channel, and I was throwing stuff on here because I thought it was bad stuff I was making, stuff that wasn't good. The fact that Soriku blew up, I'm so happy about it. And the fact that these commenters made me believe, and I am happier than I've ever been when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. So, if you take anything from my 4 videos on Kingdom Hearts, it's that I don't know what I'm doing. This channel is all about how I feel, and I lost my faith, but now I believe. The fact that Sora is in Smash, and that Kingdom Hearts has all these great games that are coming out, and that they're really caring and they're bringing it in, I really hope that Disney doesn't fuck this up. Because if Disney gets their sticky fingers all over Kingdom Hearts and starts changing it and making it less gay, I'm gonna be pissed. And I'm still a little worried that even though all of this stuff with the heroine's journey is probably true, I'm worried that Sora and Riku are still not going to be accepted as being together, even if they explicitly say things. Even if they do the beach scene again, I'm worried that people still won't believe it. That it's still gonna be this thing that only gay shippers and teenage girls care about. And I'm getting a little pissed off about it, because I saw this when I was 12 playing Kingdom Hearts 2. I saw this immediately, and I cared about these characters. And then when I was 15 and I was questioning my own sexuality, Kingdom Hearts helped me understand. It helped me believe. And the fact that those beliefs were on something that when I was a grown man playing Kingdom Hearts 3, the fact that it affected me so hard that these characters, that they made Kairi and Sora have this old love thing at the end, the fact that hurt me so hard means how much this matters to me, how much Kingdom Hearts mattered to me. And I was heartbroken, but now I've relearned how the game works. I'm playing it as an adult, and it's so much better understanding actually how the game works. I beat Kingdom Hearts 1 as a kid without using scan. Like, I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't use the abilities. Like, I remember fighting Maleficent and it being impossible because I couldn't see her health bar. Like, I've been playing this game forever. And this morning I went and looked up the date of how old Kingdom Hearts is, and it's almost 20 years old now. Which is insane, because that means Kingdom Hearts came out when I was like 5. And I'm just happy that I figured this all out and that I've made this video. So I have a lot of editing ahead of me, but when this comes out, I hope everybody who's been watching sees this. Thank you for watching all these Kingdom Hearts videos. I'm going to keep editing movies, and I'm going to keep talking about things that I love. And I'm glad that I figured that out today. So thanks for listening. Keep the faith. Bye. Okay, I'm back. I have to talk about something. All those comments in my video that I just saw, I just figured out where they all came from. So Francie and Drake sent me an email, and it said basically everything that was in that video, and that's where I learned the truth. And I was like, holy shit. And they also sent me a link to a YouTube video, a couple of YouTube videos, called Constructing Kingdoms. And I had it open on my phone for weeks, and I just haven't watched it yet. And then when I was recording this, I was like, well, maybe I should go watch it. So I went and watched it, and it is exactly where all their ideas have come from. And I didn't know that someone else made a video that was this detailed. And having watched the Constructing Kingdoms series, I don't need to make these videos anymore. These videos are kind of unnecessary when theirs exist, because they kind of blew the case open, and I was done, and my dreams were dashed, and my hopes were broken. And then a couple of commenters showed me this series, and now I'm done. I don't think I need to talk about Kingdom Hearts anymore, unless I'm going to talk about maybe the gameplay or something, or just how much I love it. But I wholeheartedly believe now that Soriku is real, and I hope that it happens by the 5th game like they predicted, and like I predicted at the same time. My videos aren't as good as most people's. I don't do enough research. A lot of these are just about how I feel, and just me expressing my emotion and explaining why I feel the way I did and how I feel the way I do. And they're less fact and reasoned, and there's less research, and it's a little more opinion and not enough references. And they even put footnotes in their videos. Like, I have trouble getting through copyright claims and putting music in my videos, and they're sitting there putting 50 footnotes with actual references. Like, I'm nothing. I need to completely rethink my life. And I completely misinterpreted Heroines' journey. Like, I have a whole podcast where I went and tried to figure out how to write it before, and I didn't really understand it completely. And now I want to go back and write it again. So I'm probably going to do that. So Constructing Kingdoms pretty much have this covered. So after 3 videos on Kingdom Hearts, where I kind of half-assed my way through them and somehow got a bunch of views when I was making a lot of videos in a row, and now this video, I think I can put Kingdom Hearts to bed and no longer talk about Soriku. So thanks for listening. Keep the faith. Bye.